North Korea issues ultimatum to Trump to cease military drills or face nuclear deterrent. Tae Song, the Hermit Kingdom's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, issued the stark warning to the U.S. president as World War III fears soar. Mr. Han said, "As long as there is continuous hostile policy against my country by the U.S., and as long as there are continued war games at our doorstep, then there will not be negotiations. There are continued military exercises using nuclear assets as well as aircraft carriers and strategic bombers, and then raising such kinds of military exercises against my country." The Hermit official stated that North Korea could consider abandoning its nuclear program, but that threats from America prevent considerations from taking place. He claimed, "This is the deterrent, the nuclear deterrent to cope with the nuclear threat from America." The ambassador kept the rogue nation's cards close to its chest after failing to clarify if the country is planning another ballistic missile test. He stated, "The DPRK, my country, will continue to build up its self-defense capability, the pivot of which is nuclear forces and capability for a triumphant strike, as long as U.S. and hostile forces keep up nuclear threat and blackmail. Our country plans ultimate completion of the nuclear force." The North Korean added that the U.S. never accepted calling off their joint military exercises near the peninsula. He declared, "So if they accept such things, then we will think what we do in the future." The official disclosed the effects of the economic and military squeeze being put on Kim Jong-un's despot state constitute large-scale human rights violations and cited the delayed delivery of aid and consumer goods. He went on, "It is obvious that the aim of the sanctions is to overthrow the system of my country by isolating and stifling it, and to intentionally bring about humanitarian disaster instead of preventing weapons development as claimed by the U.S. and its followers." Tae Song also affirmed that the rogue nation is preparing for further sanctions to be imposed as the world tightens its grip against it following continued threats of nuclear annihilation. He said, "The media is saying the Americans and Trump are considering such things. But that is their business, and then we don't mind what they want to do against my country since the aim is quite clear. So we are ready for such kinds of measures taken by America against my country." Developing new terrifying weapons. New photos show North Korea is constructing powerful new submarines capable of firing deadly ballistic missiles. North Korea watchdog 38 North warned that work has been underway at the Sinpo South shipyard for a number of weeks. They said the Hermit state is on an aggressive building schedule and determined to deploy its first operational ballistic missile sub. A report this week said, throughout 2017 there has been continued movement of parts and components into and out of the two parts yards adjacent to the construction halls in the center of the shipyard. Accompanying this has been the movement of the gantry and tower cranes that service the yards. The Washington-based group revealed the shipyard historically deals with submarine manufacturing, although said an imminent deployment is unlikely. The report said these activities suggest a prolonged and ongoing shipbuilding program, which is supported by the fact that the Sinpo South shipyard has historically been the primary manufacturer of large submarines for the Korean People's Navy. While both the submarine and test stand barge appear able to put to sea at relatively short notice, no activities are observed suggesting a forthcoming at-sea or submerged SLBM, submarine-based ballistic missile, test.